Okay, hey now everybody, we're back. Brand new Take Aim. And this week we are doing the top 6 turkey hunting destination. It's springtime and it's time to think about those gobbles from the treetops. And super excited. Picked out 6 great states for you guys to kind of decide from. Who knows, maybe this time next year or maybe later this month or next month. You guys might be in one of these states, but plan a trip. These are great destinations. Many of these states offer multiple bird subspecies for that Grand Slam, so hope you guys enjoy the show. All right, everybody, we are back. Brand new episode of Take Aim, and today we're going to cover the top 5 turkey hunting states. So basically, if you're, excuse me one second, you got to start the morning off with the proper Monster Energy drink. So actually, it's a Rockstar Recovery, but nonetheless, it's very good. No sugars, not carbonated, it's delicious. You're actually missing out if you haven't had one. But so we are going to cover the top 5 turkey hunting states. So if you're going to do a do-it-yourself or planning to do a do-it-yourself turkey hunting trip this year, this show's for you. So basically, there's a number of things that I kind of put together based on, we'll call it criteria for turkey hunting. So if I look at what I got, so the main points of interest I got here are turkey populations, harvest rates, percentage of birds, annual cost of, your tags, not the trip itself, but just your turkey tags. And obviously you want to always pick a state that has, tag availability. You hate to show up somewhere and can't get a tag, and, your bag limits and access to public land. And obviously, if you're in a good area, odds are you probably have the opportunity, if things aren't working out right, you have the opportunity to find somebody that is doing guided opportunities, hunt with an outfitter for 2 or 3 days. So those are kind of the few things I threw together for this list. Some of the states, are pretty diehard, top-notch turkey states, and I think some of them you'll find to be like, oh, I didn't really think of that, which I think is huge. You got to always kind of look outside the box, and some of those outside of the box states, to me, they might be low on my list today, but they're really my favorite states to hunt. And, based on you go to spots like that, you're just going to have less pressure. You're going to have less people hunting. Occasionally, you're going to, maybe see less birds because some of these states, just the pockets of timber or drainages and river bottoms are, in certain parts of the state. They're not as much as they would be, like in the South and Alabama where there's tons of timber and so on and so on. But like I said, the plus side to that is the awesome opportunity to be able to get out and pretty much not see any other hunting pressure, which I think is unique. And to me, that's super special. So yeah, basically let's just get into it. So I'm going to start this list off with South Dakota, which I think a lot of people are going to be like, man, South Dakota. But there's one cool reason for South Dakota right off the bat. They have Merrimans, and you can find them in the Black Hills. While there's, of course, you're going to find other states that have them, but I don't think there's a way to kind of put into words some of the beauty of the Black Hills, being able to hunt there. But a couple easy ways to do it. You can fly into the airport of Rapid City, and I'm sure being in the airport, you would see a mix of hunters / outfitters, but public land is available. Plenty of land, to be honest, and it pretty much will accommodate everybody. Hunters must apply for permits, which is always a drag, but success rates are better than normal. Because of the draw, costs for non-residents are very, very reasonable. We're talking less than $100. I think last time I checked, it was $85. And hunters can take 2 birds, which is really, really awesome. And you can also, which is really cool about South Dakota, because there's many spots like this within the state, you can hit an Indian reservation, which may have a separate permit system, so make sure you check that out. But man, South Dakota, just the access, like I said, public land, tons of it, and being able to do any kind of hunt like that where you can visit a Indian reservation is unreal. And pretty much more or less at $85 roughly, less than $100 for a tag is so super reasonable. It's ridiculous. So that's why South Dakota is on the list. And next on the list would be kind of like South Dakota, which is unique in the hunting aspect of subspecies and getting Merriman. Florida, man, you got to check out Florida just based on the fact that they also have not only Easterns, but they have Osceolas. And obviously, if you're a hardcore turkey hunter, you know what that means. You're hitting that one rare bird that only can be found in Florida, and you're one step closer to that awesome turkey hunting grand slam. But, Osceolas can be found in the bottom two-thirds of the state's peninsula, and the numbers are pretty dang strong. Biologists say those two peninsulas there combine for about 100,000 total birds, and every year, roughly, they say hunters take about 25% of that population. Which obviously means there's always room for new birds, and the breeding season works out great, for that herd, or, I don't know what you call a flock of birds that big, but basically for the management aspect of the turkeys. So that's why Florida comes in there. You can't beat it. And the cool things about Osceolas, they're known for, longer spurs, and man, that part of Florida is really underrated too for some of the probably prettiest country to hunt and some of the prettiest mornings you'd probably ever see from a sunrise. To be in Florida in the mornings and birds, flying down, cackling, gobbling, and to go along with it, Florida, man, really is a great deal for non-residents as well. If you ask me, if you ask me, coming from the deer hunting world, you still can't beat even at more expensive turkey hunts like this. Non-residents, but in the department, they woke up and they have the monopoly on that. So on the subspecies, and Florida has jacked up the license and permit costs. This is roughly under $300 for non-residents, but it's $278 for the full season. But if you ask me, it's still worth it. And like a lot of places in the South, they do a great thing where they do a less costly 10-day hunt. So you get a 10-day license option. And so with that doesn't mean you get to come down and hunt, one day here, come back in 2 weeks. It's 10 days in a row. But nonetheless, it gives you a great option to pick a week to head down there and get after some of those Osceolas, which I think is really, really cool. And, again, that 10-day license is a lot cheaper than the full season at $278. And without a doubt, one of my favorite states to visit and hunt, especially for whitetails, is Kansas. But Kansas is, if you ask me, is quickly kind of becoming one of the better go-to turkey hunting states across the nation. As a turkey hunter, you'll get to find Easterns, Rios, and Merrimans. But those are primarily found in the southwest corner. So just so you know, it's not like the whole state's flooded with Merrimans. But nonetheless, and they have a really cool kind of hybrid bird too, Eastern and Merriman hybrid, which is really unique. Mostly found in the northeast part of the state, which is ironic, mostly because of Nebraska. But nonetheless, Kansas boasts, a huge harvest of birds every year. They continue to kind of be in the top 10 in every aspect of turkey hunting. They have over 100,000 birds every year, with about 35% of those birds being harvested. And that's pretty big success for most guys, being able to do, throwing the odds in your favor, let's say, to be able to run out of state, do a hunt like this. 35% of that 100,000 is being harvested by hunters. So you have really good odds if you visit Kansas. And again, Kansas is unique. Over-the-counter tags, I believe there is a draw or was a draw for the Merriman, so make sure you double-check that, but unless they've changed it recently. But, so you basically go over-the-counter or do a little homework, draw the tag, do the draw for the Merrimans, and, Kansas is right up there with one of the best states. So another super legit state, off-the-radar state, would be Oklahoma. Oklahoma is loaded with Easterns throughout the east and southeast part of the state, and pretty much Rio is ruling the rest of the state, obviously all throughout the western portion of the state as well. Like I said, mostly Rios, but Oklahoma does have Easterns in the eastern part of the state, but I don't think they cracked the top 15 for hunting population as far as tags sold to turkey hunters, but they have great success, like number 5th overall for harvest rate. So again, you're pounding one of these states that has a whopping 30% more turkey success rate on hunting. Those are the kind of states, obviously, we're talking about DIY. Those are the states we're looking for. So, but man, Oklahoma's another state, super beautiful. And the terrain in the northeastern extent of the Rios Range looks more like, hardwood and farmland. And then when you get to the far west, you have these huge canyons and, big, vast, rolling, hills and red clay roads and just, unique part of the state over by the Texas Panhandle. But, super cool state to hunt. It is a license that gives you a permit for 3 birds, so you can't beat that. And you can get 3 of the 4 subspecies in that state. So because there are Merrimans there as well, in it's a very small portion of the Northwest. So don't forget that as well. But 3 birds, you can make quick work of the subspecies you need for the Grand Slam right in Oklahoma. So you cannot beat that, and that's why it's on the list. So another under-the-radar state, great state. You can get out and do some roaming around, and odds are you're not going to see a lot of hunters, which, again, I like states like that. Okay, so this podcast is rolling a little faster than I thought it would. So I'm going to throw in a bonus state I'm going to add in. So I'm going to add in Texas. I was kind of thinking about not adding in Texas just due to the availability of, as a lot of us already know, the availability of public land, which is really thin in Texas. But with that being said, who really cares? Texas is home to the largest turkey hunting population pretty much of any state, 510,000 Easterns and Rios. 500,000+ birds, you're bound to run into one. And even though the public land offerings are really kind of lean, you're not going to see a lot. But the cool thing with Texas, man, there's some great outfitters, and 3 and 4 day hunts are abound with many outfitters, and they offer multiple bird hunts as well, with really super high odds. And I mean, again, if you're trying to do something in a short amount of time, and most turkey hunters do, let's face it, we're doing this in 2 or 3 days, you get to have that opportunity to knock off 2 birds basically in a short time period. Another cool thing with Texas is non-resident license are extremely cheap. We're $125, $26, and it gives you an awesome permit, and it gives you the permit for the whole season, and it allows you a bag limit of four birds 4 times. So Texas does it right. You can't beat that. And like I said, I know Texas gets a bad rap sometimes because of the lack of public lands, but on the flip side, there's so many great outfitters and just top-notch places to hunt. And Texas boasts some of the most beautiful scenery as well as any state. that you ever laid your eyes on, if you ask me. And another cool thing with Texas is, man, there's so much to do there. You can pretty much double up that kind of really cool hunt with a hog hunt as well. Most places will allow you to add that on, and you can hunt your birds in the morning and spend an extra morning or two hog hunting as well. So you can't really beat it, which I think is awesome. And coming in at least, I think for many, Missouri would be your number one state to go to. And for some it won't be, because it is basically you're just hunting an eastern turkey. But Missouri's super cool, from down in the south in the Ozarks, big vast hardwood country, what it almost look like mountains to me here from being from Michigan. The Ozark area is gorgeous and beautiful, and then you have the North Missouri, where you have rolling hills and pasture and huge chunks of timber as well. But I mean, years ago, hunters set a record turkey hunting in Missouri. In 1 year, they harvested 62,000 gobblers. So that's a huge, huge number. And Missouri, let's face it, on a down year, it is still the best place to go hunt easterns anywhere this side of the Mississippi. And it's not this side of the Missouri River. Excuse that, but this side of the Missouri River. And I was going to say, but turkey hunting got so good in Missouri that, and then obviously the word kind of gets out, but they believed it's hampered a little bit, the reproduction, based on how many gobblers had been killed. Obviously 62,000, in my opinion, is a little bit extreme. That's just amazing, though. But the state still boasts over 300,000 birds in the state of Missouri, which is amazing. And again, like I said, it's one of the tried and true states for eastern birds. Tons of state land in Missouri, which makes it another destination based on that over-the-counter tag, and it's very, very affordable as well. And there's some federal land in there as well, mixed in with the state land. And Missouri's just cool, man. It is. You hop out of the truck when you're there, and you run into guys from everywhere doing the same thing. They go to hunt Missouri for a reason, and in my opinion, that's what makes it number one. There's definitely a lot of great states out there, and there's some I didn't cover as well that should have made the list, but those are the ones I just wanted to cover today anyways. But a lot of good stuff. So if you have not had the chance to get out yet, start making those plans. Get with it. Turkey season is here, and get on the ball. But just wanted to share with you guys some very affordable, do-it-yourself type of hunts that you guys can do and hopefully achieve or get close to that Grand Slam. So with that being said, I'm out of here. We'll see you guys next week. And make sure to check us out every week, iTunes, podbros.com, Outdoor Podcast channel. And we'll see you guys soon.